Hey gaming fans, so today I have another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. This is also for the GOAT format because I've been playing a lot of that recently and building decks for that format. I'll probably build other decks as well, not just only GOAT format on this channel, but it's just one that I've been into recently. Anyways, this is a Skill Drain deck. I call it like a Skill Drain beatdown deck. I've been playing this on the dueling book, and if you look at some of my previous videos of my dueling, you'll see that I think I've done about 2 videos playing this deck. So I thought it's time to do a deck profile just to kind of show off what cards I'm playing. And I thought it'd be fun to do it with real cards instead of just using the dueling book. Anyways, let's get to the deck profile and I'll explain the choices. So we have Exiled Forces, or Force, Exiled Force. Really good card. You're only allowed 1 in the deck anyways, but you pretty much just tribute him to destroy 1 monster. And what's good about Exiled Force is that he gets around Skill Drain. So even if Skill Drain's on the field, which it negates all monster effects on the field, Exiled Force has to tribute in order to use his effect, and he's no longer on the field, so his effect goes through, which is really good. And then for some more monster removal, I put in 3 DD Assailants. Again, another monster that can get around the Skill Drain. When this card is destroyed by battle with an opponent's monster, remove and play the monster and this card. So he pretty much gets destroyed by battle and leaves the field and then banishes the monsters. I believe that's how it works. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain that because his effect will activate off field when he's destroyed. Unlike DD Warrior Lady that actually activates on the field. Now we have 2 Zombra the Dark. Now the reason why I'm going with this is because I did need some extra dark monsters that were big, and he's a big monster. He gets around. You can attack with him. You can't attack directly, but you can attack monsters with him, and he's a pretty big body. And then every time he attacks, you have to decrease his attack by 200 points. Now, with Skill Drain out, that's irrelevant because his effect will be negated anyways. Also note that he's a warrior, just like Exiled Force and DD Assailant, so it also helps with this deck. Then we got 3 of the Giant Orcs. Another nice big card, 2200 attack for a level 4. You don't have to tribute summon or anything. But the downside to this is that it's changed to defense position at the end of the battle phase. And then you cannot manually change it until the end of your next turn. It's kind of weird that they say that at the end of your next turn because you don't typically change monsters manually during your end phase, but I guess they just wanted to make sure that your next turn you cannot turn this guy into attack mode, so you got to wait a whole turn, just like the Goblin Attack Force, which is the other 3 cards I was going to show here. Same idea, they all work the same way. Big guys, only this guy's a warrior, so he could be searched out, and but it's the same thing, 2300 attack instead of 2200 attack. But the other thing that's good about the Giant Orc is it's dark, which I'll be getting to later. And then we got the attack force there. And again, all these will be, negated if there's Skill Drain on the field, so it really doesn't matter once you have Skill Drain out, or there's another trap that actually helps with them. And then we got 3 of the Fuchler Dragon, the dual mode beast. So this is a good one. This is probably the best monster you can get because he's 1400 when you normal summon him. Even though he's a level 7, his effect is you could normal summon him without the tribute, but then his attack becomes in half. So then he becomes 1400 and 1000 defense. But again, with Skill Drain out, that resets his abilities, and he becomes the full 2800. Of course, you can also call it a haunted or whatever, bring him back. So that's it for the monster count. So very, slim line of monsters, but the monsters are pretty big. So you really just get 1 out, and you can keep beating your opponent down with it. So for the spells, we got our standards. We got the Pot of Greed, the Graceful Charity, and I threw in Delinquent Duel just to help out. I mean, I don't know if every deck runs Delinquent Duel or not. I think I see it in a lot of profiles because it is a strong card, no matter what your strategy is. So just knocking 2 cards out of your opponent's hand on turn 1 is kind of unfair, which is why that card's been banned for a very long time. Then we got 2 reinforcements of the army. Maxing out on that, you're only allowed 2 in the deck. And again, you know, you got a lot of good warriors, so you can grab your Goblin Attack Force, Zombra of the Dark, or DD Assailant, whatever you need, or Exiled Force, to deal with whatever problems are on the field. Then I included 1 warrior returning alive. Again, we play a lot of warriors, so it's not, you know, it's pretty good to recycle the warriors. This deck doesn't focus too much on the graveyard, but, you know, it's nice to recur every once in a while. And we got the MST, you know, just to deal with back row. Premature, which is best for your Fusilier Dragon. If that ends up in the graveyard, you can pull him back and he becomes the full 2800 attack. Or if you just need whatever else if you want to pull out. But Exiled Force is another good one, just to get rid of a monster. Then we got 3 Book of Moons. This is also an essential card because, again, if you normal summon Fusilier, he's 1400. But if you Book of Moon him, flip him face down, and then flip him back up again, he goes back to the 2800. Obviously, you can't do it on the turn you summon him, but if he manages to survive the turn, and he's only, you know, 2800 or 1400, you can flip him back up to make him, you know, the full power. The same thing can happen with these guys. If you know, you turn them face down, then you can flip them back up if they survived. Or you could reset your Zombra of the Dark if he's already lost a couple of, you know, 100 points off of his power. You can flip him down and then flip him back up. So really good. And of course, you can also use it defensively. If your opponent is attacking you, you could Book of Moon them. So really good card in this deck. That's why I'm running 3. Now for the traps, and we play a lot of them. So Skill Drain is your main trap. This is a card you almost always want to see. I almost considered trying to put a little bit of draw power in this deck just to try and get to Skill Drain really fast. But the problem is there isn't a whole lot of draw power in this format that's not monster, like Dakochi or anything. And I don't want to run Dakochi because once you get Skill Drain out, he's useless. But, you know, there is Upstart Goblin, but this is a beatdown deck, so you really don't want to be giving your opponent life points. Jar of Greed I find is a little bit too slow. And there's Card Destruction, which I'm not too crazy about, at least not for this deck anyway. The other trap I use is 2 Final Attack Orders. I find it's not a pivotal card, but it does come in handy. And it's good for your Goblins, Attack Force, and your Giant Orcs that all turn to defense mode. So basically what will happen is they'll attack. The end of the battle phase, they'll turn to defense mode. Final Attack Orders will kick in and put them back up to attack mode. So really good. And the other thing that's good about this is anything that's set. So if your opponent sets a weak monster and you attack it while it's face down, the card will flip up and then turn to attack mode because of this card. So if they set a Magician of Faith, you'll run into that Magician of Faith and it'll flip up and go into attack mode, and then you'll do a lot of damage. And then the third thing, and because this is GOAT format, a lot of people do use scapegoats, and this will wreck them. Because all those scapegoats will go into attack mode, which means they're literally just gateways to their life points. Now, I did make a mistake in my previous duel. If you watch that one, the Skill Drain versus, I think it was Skill Drain versus Zombies, where I made a mistake and I had Final Attack Orders face down, and I think I flipped it early before I attacked, and my opponent knew, or I knew he had scapegoats, and so he intentionally did not trigger the scapegoats, knowing that they would go into attack mode. What I should have done is actually attacked first, had him activate scapegoats, then activate Final Attack Orders. But, you know, that's live and learn. So that's those traps there. And then also because a lot of these monsters either need to, you know, something needs to happen, like Fusilier, you can banish him from the field, and then he'll return back to the field at full power. The same with your Goblins and your Orcs and all that, so you can banish it, and then at the end of turn it comes back into play in attack mode. So you can always, you know, work around with that. Plus, Interdimensional Matter Transporter is good for things like if they try to snatch steal your monster, you just activate this and then banish the monster till the end of turn. Or if they try to Blackluster Soldier or anything like that, you can just save your monster. So I put 2 in there because it does help. It does help with this deck quite a bit. You just got to, you know, time it properly. Then we got Call It a Haunted. Again, only 1 per deck for Call It a Haunted, but really good card in this deck. You know, again, you could revive your Field Sword Dragons and stuff like that, bring them back to the field. This is a beatdown, so you want to get your monsters out at full power as fast as possible, and you really want to attack all the time. In fact, even on that, I think it was the same duel where I played Premature Burial to attack into the Pyramid Turtle, and I had Call It a Haunted face down, and I left it face down on a reason is that once he searched out for his Pyramid Turtle, I could Call It a Haunted my Fusilier and then attack whatever he brought out. If I would have done it ahead of time and called this and Prematured, he would have just gone into 2 different turtles, and then I still would have been, he still would have had a monster. So the next one is a card I think that takes a lot of people by surprise, and that's Deck Devastation Virus. I think you're only allowed 1 in the deck anyways, but I wouldn't want to play more than 1. It's a good card, but it does require a tribute of a dark monster of 2,000 or more, and that's good because Fusilier at full power is 2,000 more. He's 2,800. Your giant orcs are all targets for it, and so are your 2 Zombra the Darks. So you do have a lot of targets to actually do that. And again, it's a nice card that if your opponent tries to snatch steal your monster or anything like that, take your monster, destroy your monster, you can chain with Deck Dev. And otherwise, you would probably just do it when they draw their card for turn and completely wreck their hand and the next 3 turns. Then the next 2 cards I have in here is Dust Tornado. Again, dealing with back row. You don't want to be running into Sakuratsu Armors and Mirror Forces and stuff, and you know, it can stop Premature Burial and Snatch Steal and all that stuff, so always good to have something that can remove spells and traps. And then the final is 3 Fake Traps. I don't know if I'm going to continue to play 3, but definitely a good card in this because you are playing 3 Skill Drain and 2 Final Attack Order. You're playing a lot of traps, actually, and Heavy Storm is a thing in this format, so it's always good to have a, at least 1 Fake Trap face down to save all your traps. And again, it actually happened in the duel I did where I had Skill Drain and Fake Trap face down, and my opponent played Heavy Storm, and I activated Fake Trap, and it stopped it from destroying it. The only thing I don't know if I noticed or not, yeah, I think what he did was he didn't destroy his back row along with the Heavy Storm when I activated Fake Trap, because I think he thought Fake Trap negated Heavy Storm. So that was a mistake, which I noticed afterwards, but that's okay. Anyways, yeah, that's the deck. It's kind of fun. It really takes people by surprise. I mean, the GOAT format is full of a lot of the same old decks all over again. A lot of the, Chaos decks and stuff like that, and GOAT format, GOAT deck or whatever. So this is kind of one that kind of goes against a lot of the common decks that are out there. Anyways, let me know what you think. What cards would you take in or out? I think in my Dueling Network Dueling Book I might be using Nobleman of Crossout, but I don't remember what I would have taken out for it. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.